Hey everybody, it's Paul Grossman, the Dark Arts Wizard. So one of my meetings ran a little long, so I'm a little bit late getting this started. And we're only going to have about maybe 30 or 40 minutes to do this. And I didn't have enough prep time to let everybody know I am going live. Um, so I'm going to remove this one from X from here. We'll say these changes, but I am over here. We are doing a test automation, and I'm going to go change our back. All right, there we go. That's the background that I am looking for. And I don't have anybody watching at the moment, but I realize most of you are going to watch this video after it's live. And since I'm running late and I didn't do a lot of prep, I'm just going to go and imagine that there are 100,000 people watching this pretty cool automation. And we're going to continue on with what we were doing yesterday. And so I'm going to go and share my screen just to catch you up on what we were doing yesterday. Is we're looking at how to automate test cases without any code and no page object models. Now, if we happen to catch anybody decide to look in an eyeball, we're going to ask them to put in a request on a comment. Say we are live, add your URLs here. I'm going to put that out there and just shunt it out. There we go. And let's take a look. Let's go do a little review. In case you're new and you haven't seen these videos, this is what we were doing on Monday. On Monday, we're basically saying, go check the page contains Spring on Spring using AI. And we wanted to put TV into the find, hit enter, and then check that featured products was on the page. And if you hear some storming going on here, it is, yes, it's storming. It's storming like crazy. And you know what's really cool is if I were to actually show the screen when I'm doing this. So, hey, look, who's the newbie here? I'm going to get some music. I got to get some music with this at the moment. So we have this initial state. This is what we did on Monday, which was to try and automate Best Buy without any code, no page object, no CSS, no XPath. And I wanted to check that the page contains Spring on Spring and using AI. The thing to keep in mind is AI has a lot of extra processing that comes with it. So my tip for you, as I've said all 3 days, is don't expect to do AI assertions, validations, and clicks and searches and enters and all that stuff on every single step. Think of this as a pot of a stew, okay? And if we put all the stuff in the stew and we don't season it, then it's kind of bland and boring. Let's call the AI some seasoning, all right? We'll call that seasoning. Let's call it salt, okay? So what happens if we have no salt inside of the test in the framework? Well, it's bland, it's boring, it may seem like it's impossible to do. But if we put a little bit of salt in, what happens? The soup becomes flavorful, and we like that. It's great. And what if we take the AI salt and put everything, the whole container inside of the stew? What happens? Everybody hates it because it is just so overwhelming. And because of the additional time it takes, it can slow down everything. So you have to have a good balance. Just use AI validation where you need it and not like everywhere. But Test Rigger over here can do it. You could actually say, have the AI enter something or click something. But that's only in the case that other ways aren't working. All right, so we've got enter a TV into the find. You know, this is actually a boring view. Let's go take a look at this view over here. This was to say, check the page contains bring on spring, and there it is, bring on spring, using AI. And what happened, this was the coolest thing ever. When I asked it for a statement, does it contain it? It says, yeah, it's true. Why is it true? It's true because I'm looking at the image and I can see that the Best Buy website homepage features a prominent banner that clearly indicates the text, bring on spring, with a tagline underneath that says, make every space spring ready. You know what? It says it there, make every every space spring ready. Isn't that cool? All right. Then we're going to enter TV into find. TV went into find. How do I know it was called find? Because the page actually says, when we go over to Best Buy, if I go over to Best Buy, we'll go to Best Buy. Best Buy. It actually says find in that search. What can we help you find today? So I'm over here and I'm doing this, and then I'm going to go hit enter. Enter means you're entering the enter key. So it's entering, you're saying send on that. And then the next thing I said was, check the page contains featured products. There's featured products right there. We're checked. That's good. And then click a checkbox to the left of 32 inches. And then now the quotes have to be escaped. It's a little thing you got to learn. That's no big deal. Hey, I got to give a shout out. I've got an eyeball, one eyeball looking at this. I wonder if it's the same person who's been watching me for the last 2 days. If you happen to be watching me on my YouTube channel, say hello or send me a URL. Maybe it's the same guy who sent me a URL yesterday, because I'm going to get up to speed on that. I'm just doing a little catch up over here, showing how I was able to interact with an element that is a checkbox. And one of the things in automation, if you don't really know, it's the tricky thing if you're just starting, is that you will try to find a checkbox based on some text, like 32 quotes. And the actual checkbox itself won't have text associated with it. It's just say, I'm a checkbox. But then there'll be a div next to it that says, I've got 32 inch and under. And you could go, and then you have to go and find the checkbox that's related to this. This is relative element location. We're just saying, hey, go find this thing to the left of that thing, and you'll find it. It's kind of cool. All right, I'm going to continue on over here just to kind of catch up what I was doing yesterday. We wanted to check page contains rollable smart touch screen. Rollable touch smart screen is over here. Note that I used the word touch in all caps. This is where it is. Rollable smart touch screen. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. I always hit the wrong button. I don't know why I go smaller. This is rollable smart touch screen over there. It's probably a little, that's just big enough. And we can see it there. And the cool thing is that this is case insensitive, and this isn't even the whole text. The whole text starts with DuraPro 32-inch class. I just want to make sure that something that is a rollable smart touch screen appears on the page. And the last thing to validate was that $7.99 is visible. There's $7.99. It is a $sign. One of the cool things you could also do with this, you can actually do regular expression validations. You can say, I want to find something that has a $sign with just the one or more numbers followed by a digit followed by 2 numbers. And you could do that. It's kind of cool. And maybe we get to demo it. Just to let you know, I was running late to this meeting, one eyeball, and I appreciate, hey, you checking in. And I've only got about another 30 minutes to go. So this is going to be kind of a short session. So there was I was automating this. I wanted to validate some information over here. I want to see if enter a phone in there and see if I can click on an element to the left of ready. So that's what we did yesterday. Then we had said data-driven superheroes. This is a CS comma separated value CSV file, which has all these superheroes over here and their names, revealing them all as an account. And I did put a wait 5 seconds here. I want you to understand I never use hard-coded waits. I don't recommend them at all. The only thing is that for this demo, I wanted this to slow down so that I can actually show this executing in parallel. And you're going to see it over here because it's more cool when it's running and it's running in parallel. And here are the all the different superheroes being added in. And I can even prove that down here. I'm going to go zoom in. I'm going to go zoom in here. Zoom, zoom, zoom. And that's Deadpool on this one. This one is Spider-Man. This one is Doctor Strange. And so on, and so on, and so on. And each one of these were executed in parallel. And most people don't really believe me when I say this is executed in parallel. I'll believe it when I see it. Well, I'm going to go restart this one, and we're going to see it. Put all these superheroes in there. I'm going to retest over here, and I'm retesting it. And as soon as my virtual machine comes up, as soon as we're able to get to that first, but look at that. It is already started. What? Give it a second. Give it a second. I don't trust it. I just did a quick refresh on the page. But we only need to wait 5 seconds just so that it's long enough so that we can see it. Now I'm going to go click on my execution. We'll jump over here, and then we can go scroll out a little bit, and you can see them all executing all at the same time. Now, the first line I had in there didn't really say it. It said, just go to the front page. And it grabbed a screen capture of the page before it actually was built by Best Buy. We can make that always show something. We can say to wait until page contains Best Buy or something that's going to be on the front page every time. Maybe a login, something like that. And you can see it's all chugging away. I've got 10 different systems going all at the same time. This one just completed Iron Man over there. And there's a couple of them that are failing. This is interesting. It's saying it's looking for the account. So the speed execution on that is the one thing that I want to take a look at. And let's see, this is the second and the third one. This is over here. Account is there, but the page was building. So what I want to do is do a modification to go and wait for that page account to appear, the account element to appear on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over here to my test. And I'm going to go modify that. I believe I did that yesterday with a couple of these. So I'm going to go and do a quick edit. I know it's very tiny, so I'm going to go and bring it up here. And I'm going to say, it's checking account is visible. We'll do that. And then I'm going to go say check, let's say click. I could say click button. Let's see, check. Let's see, click. I think I can do clickable. Check button account is clickable. I think I can do that. Might be going off sideways over there. I'm going to hit update and retest. Does it like it? The parser looks at it and says, I like what you wrote. So we'll let that chug away and see what we can come up with a little bit later. So the next thing I was doing yesterday was I was talking with someone who said, try Stream Boom. And this is Stream Boom over here. And the interesting thing is that I wanted to go and click on the login button. That says login right there. And I said, click login. And it did not translate from English to Russian, which I believe this is. It basically had the login button in the element behind the screens, which is a really cool thing. If you're designing a test automation framework on your own, you should be able to pick up elements by yourself dynamically. If it says login, and I'm going to go over to this suite over here, that is, we wanted to go to the, we tested this over here. We're going to go to Stream Boom over here, like so. Again, if you're watching and you see my messages, if you see a message, you can actually submit a URL that you want to go have tested, just like we did yesterday with Stream Boom. So if I go over to Stream Boom over here, I'm going to punch that in there. And here's one of the secrets you do as an automation engineer. You want to find out what, I'm going to go, oh, look, it can translate. It was saying it'll translate it for me. If I go and inspect over here, and I go and use my little item over here, I do this and click on this. Well, this is it. It says it's the blah, 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 blah. And login is listed there. What's this one? This one says register. Well, I definitely want to register over on Stream Boom, so let's go do that. we're going to go to Streamboom. I'm going to go, let's see. I'm going to go click on register. The only problem was from yesterday, in case you weren't here, is that Streamboom is verifying that I'm a human. And I actually told it, go click on this, click and make sure I'm a human, verify I'm a human. The thing is that this is to keep the white hats out. And the way I'm doing this, or I should say, keep the white hats in, the black hats out, the bad guys. And that is intentional. So I really don't like to say that, you can use your automation script to try and get around this or click on the buses or stuff. It's not efficient. If you do have a system and you are testing, you're a QA guy and you're in a group, you should not be trying to find all the buses on that page because it's slowing you down. And if it's slowing you down, that means more defects are getting into production. If more defects get into production, that means your ROI is going down. Sometimes you have to have self-evident proof that your ROI is actually working there. Sometimes managers will come up, what is all this? Well, you ran this whole thing overnight and I see some greens and reds. What does it really get me? And it's like, well, I know that the URL for the PayPal API has been down for 2 hours, so you actually haven't been making any sales. And then usually top level people they flip their lids and go, what? You found that? Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're doing a good job. All right, cool. All right, so we've mentioned this. I'm not going to attempt to get past a CAPTCHA like that. I definitely do want to do a little bit of more interaction over here. So I'm going to go and change this test over here. Just do a quick edit. And I'm going to say, instead of clicking login, click register. I'm going to go register like that. And I am going to remove these guys over here. Now, yesterday I said I was going to take a look at this and see if I can either run this through a test rigger recorder to create this. And of course, everybody says, hey, don't use a recorder. Record and playback is bad. Record and playback is great when you use it to learn the syntax of whatever it is that you're working with. So if you happen to have this started to work with, let's say, Playwright, and you have a recorder, it's perfectly fine to use that to learn how is Playwright writing its scripts. Same thing with Test Rigger over here. It has a recorder, and you want to try your scripts and see what it does to learn the syntax. And the syntax isn't hard. Look at this. It's plain English. Whatever it is that you're doing, there's your basic commands. Click cart. Click cart, the third hello 5 times. Click in the middle of the screen. Do that with mobile testing. Do a long click on the third hello, or click best plan value plan using OCR. All of this, all combined, is pretty much straightforward, plain English. Typing is typing characters at the keyboard. Checking is checking a page that it contains something, or the page didn't change. All sorts of different things. It's all in plain English when you do that. But that's the boring stuff. We're going to go back to the interesting stuff. We're going to go back over here. Look, I got a green, which tells me I hit, look at that. It says it in Russian, but I actually said click register because the register was actually inside that element. That's cool. And what happened? This is our registration. Hey, we should actually have some superheroes register. What do you think? I think it's a good idea. So I think that's first and last name. And I'm not sure what that is over here, but I definitely understand what an email is. And I'm not going to register because I want to bother Streamboom with this. But what I can do is I'm going to go and edit this. Let's see. Streamboom is going to be over here. I'm going to go and do this. And we will take a look at this. So if I actually look at this, I bet you I can look in behind the scenes and see what they are. This is, that's obviously going to be the first name. That's what I'm going to say. Does it actually say first name? It's a form. It's a user login. Okay. Let's take a look and see what else I got over here. Oh my gosh, an email. Well, I already know what an email is. Let's do our next one. Let's go to this guy. This is a label. And it says, so I see anything in plain English that would give me a clue. That's a password. All right, and this is going to be the same password. Okay, we can do that. So, all right, so it's the full name, the email, and a random password. So I'm going to show you something really cool. I am going to go and do this. We're going to go, I've been promising it for 2 days. We're going to live mode. That's exactly, I'm going to hit debug over here, and we're going to jump over to live mode. Now, when I click on the debug button, what it does is it grabs all that text and it'll put it in here. You can actually interact with a page over here, but when I do instead of starting with nothing and interacting and playing around with it, I can actually bring a test over that I've written, and it'll go throw it in there. It's going to be, so I think we'll go pull it back a little bit so we can see it. Look at this. There's everything I have there. There's the URL. There's the register that I want to go and do. And I'm going to make this look a little nicer. And I also want to just generate a command. And I'm going to go hit execute. We're going to leave Best Buy. Away we go. Off to Stream Boom. Hello, Stream Boom. And then we're going to click on register. And there's our register. You clicked on it over there. And here's our registration. Now check this out. I'm going to go and click on this. And it says, go generate a unique name and enter it into this field and save it as generated. I'm going to call it just generated name, because I know that name. I can do that. And if I do that, it'll give me a whole bunch of letters with a capital letter starting off over here. All right, cool. The second one, I want to go and enter an email. So it says generate a unique email, which is kind of cool. I like that. But I actually want to enter in email. Enter in email over here. We're going to enter in the email, and I don't have to save it. I'm going to say enter stored value, because that is the variable email that our superheroes have. And enter stored value email into email. Now, if I execute this, will it hit it? You know what? This test is not connected to a data-driven test. So I think if I execute it, will it actually give me something, or will it complain? I think it's going to complain. Yeah, it's complaining because it says, I don't know what this email is. This variable email, and you never told me about that. So let me go back over to, I will open up our test data and just double check. Open this in a new tab. And I'm going to double check to see if it was email or did I misremember how the superheroes are set up. And it's email with a lower e. Oh, let's try that. The variables are the only things that are case sensitive. And I just realized I put that into the object. I wanted the variable, stored value email. Let's give this a shot, see what happens. And he comes back and says, I don't know what that lowercase variable email is, because this test case is not connected to a particular data-driven item. Do I have any test data that I have set up? I have not. So I'm just going to go and set this up in live mode as this. We'll go back over here. I'm going to go hit email. And I'm going to say, I'm going to go enter, yes, reset. So it generated an email over there for me and saved it, and then saved it as generated email. So I am going to go say enter. I'm going to say Hulk Smash at Avengers.com. And I don't have to save it anything. I'm just going to do that and put it into, I got to know which field I'm putting it into email. Got it lowercase with a lowercase e, even though this is in here. I'm wondering if that dash is going to make a difference. Do I need to have the dash in there? Enter into enter. Oh, I didn't do my English correct. Excuse me. I didn't do my English correctly. Into email over here. Let's go. Now, look at that. I used email, even though this element over here at e-mail with a capital E still figured it out. Is that freaking cool or what? And we have to do a password over here. I bet you if I click on this, it'll generate a password. Yeah, it generates a template. It says, hey, just generate some random stuff here and also generate some random stuff over here. And then the last thing we would do is to click on this. And it says click on that. All right, cool. I don't want to click on that because I don't want to bother these guys with stuff. But I can certainly do this. I can execute this over here. I'll execute these guys, and we get a password. Only problem is that this generated two completely different passwords. So it would make absolutely no sense. And if I were to click on this, I'm pretty sure it'll come back and say, hey, your passwords, they don't match, man. So this is a live mode execution. This seems to be a image. So I'm gonna try this. Check page, and we're gonna do this live. Contains, we're gonna do this as an AI. Contains a stylized stream boom image. I'm going to try that. And we'll say using AI. Like that. And we're going to execute and see what it comes up with. Now remember, AI takes a few seconds. So this may take 5 or 6 seconds. This is the point I was trying to make. It's not that the tool is slow. It's just that automation, AI itself brings a lot to the to the table, and it's got a lot of overhead in order to try and do a validation on this. And I'm giving it a little bit, contains a stylized stream boom image. If I said contains stream boom, it would absolutely pass because something over here says stream boom. More than likely, this down here, the 2018 stream boom. 2018. We got to update that copyright. Oh my gosh, it's been a while. All right. So while that's cooking, let me see what else we can talk about. I'm going to go back over to test. Over here we have our sets, our data sets. We had this, I said it was Best Buy, but we kind of navigated off the other stuff. If you have a URL, I've got about 10 minutes left until this is done. And this is going to, you can go and play these back. You can see the data links. You can see all these guys over here, exactly what happened, what passed, what failed. And we can retest those. We have a history I've talked about. You can see historical reports, nice, cool little graphs showing me that hey, I've been doing this every day for the last couple of days. And I can also take a look at my all runs over there. These are all my run cases, my run tests, and even my reports that show me exactly how much has been passing, how much has been failing. And we can go back over to test cases over here. And I'm still looking at my live mode. So I'm going to go create. There's one of the things I wanted to talk about over here, which is there is something I call there's the Pareto principle. You may have heard of the Pareto principle, that 80% of your work can be done with just 20% of what you use, or 80% of your work is done by just 20% of your application. And that's kind of cool. One of the things I see here is that there are, it applies to automation. Because you're going to go and do 10 things. You're going to go to Google. And let's say if we go to Google, I'm going to go drag my page over here. Let's go take a look at Google, see what we can do. I'm going to go to Google. What does Google have? It has an input field, and I'm feeling lucky. And there is all sorts of other stuff and things that nobody has ever clicked in the history of test automation. So I'm going to go over here and say I want to enter. What are we going to look for? I wish somebody would respond to me over here, but my one eyeball, that's okay. I appreciate you sitting here and watching all this cool stuff. So I'm going to go look for some cool stuff over here. And I'm going to do, after that, I want to click, what was it, surprise me? What was it? I'm feeling lucky. Another button that nobody ever, I'm feeling funny. I'm feeling, look, it changes every time you touch it. I'm feeling hungry. I'm feeling funny, lucky, adventurous. What is up? No, did you know that it did? I didn't know it did that. So I'm going to say, click, I'm feeling lucky. Feeling lucky. And hopefully, luckily, we come across something. And then, of course, the last thing you want to do is a validation. So I'm going to see what happens when we say, what was it, something cool? Cool stuff. That's it. We're going to go over here and say, cool stuff, like that, and hit enter. And Bigfoot life-size Yeti. Shut up and take my money. I need this. I so need this. Oh, I wonder if we can get a Yeti. Let's see. Check. Page does not contain Yeti. I'm going to do a negative test on that. Let's update and retest. That over here. I misspelled something. Chalk. I mean, check. Check that out. Check it out. Check it out. We're going to do that. I've got 9 minutes left on this, and I really do want to have a shout out to my one eyeball if you're the same person who's been watching all 3 days. I got more stuff coming in 4 days and 5 days. Thursday and Friday, I will be doing this again. I might even do some stuff on the weekends. I'll try to give a little bit more of a heads up when I do that. So we are chugging along over here. There we go. And we are going to go through to Google. We are going to go and say cool stuff. I want to click on the cool stuff. And then what do we get? Oh, this is the coolest thing. Look at this. The test actually passed. And it says, check and make sure that there is no Yeti. There is no Yeti over here because it's trying to figure out if I'm a robot or not. It's the same thing blocking me over there. But I want you to take a look. This highlighted in yellow. If something went wrong, it would be red. But this is green. This is good, good, good. And this is yellow. This means something is not quite right. But it still passed. Why would this be yellow? Why would this be yellow? Well, I'm going to go take a look at our details and show our errors over here. And what it's saying is that there is something funky over here. It's showing a error 429. Now, what does this mean? Absolutely nothing to me. It looks like there's some sort of code in there. But here's the thing. You, as an automation engineer, even if you don't understand what this means, you could take this, copy it, and put it into an email or to a Slack channel to your engineering department and say, hey, when I see this, I'm getting this. I'm getting this. I'm getting this error 429. Now, it doesn't stop the user. It doesn't interfere with them because it's happening in the background. But you can ask your engineers, is this going to be a problem in the future? Is this something that I want to be taking a look at to see if I can, if this is going to be an issue because I saw it? And they'll usually come back and say, no, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. Or they'll be, flipping their hats and going, oh my gosh, how'd you find that? Oh, glad you found that. And if that's what's happening, you got yourself a really good ROI showing your usefulness on this. All right, I showed that we are navigating, and I'm going to get stuck over here with the I am not a robot with the CAPTCHA, and so I am going to go do something else. We're going to go a slightly different way. I'm going to go to WebSim. If you don't know what WebSim AI is, it is the freaking coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. Basically, let's say I want to show off that Test Rigger can go and interact with any sort of application. You could click on go to WebSim AI, and I can build a site that I want it to go to. And this is the site over here. I'm going to go over here. This should have a site number on it. It is version 8. And this is, look at this, what it's basically saying. It's saying there's some featured products. I want to add this to the cart. All right. I want to add this to the cart a few more times. I want to add this to the cart. The way I built this, I described it. I said, I want a shopping website. It goes, okay, there you go. And it gave me a wireless headphone and a watch and stuff. And I said, oh, I want a running total under this. Okay, Fine, you got a running total. We'll total this up. I can remove it too. And then I said, when the checkout button is clicked, here, I'll make it a little bit bigger. When the checkout button is clicked, a modal dialog box confirming thank you for your purchase is displayed, including the tax. All right, let's go check that out. I'm going to add these things here. I'm going to click checkout, and it says over here, it totaled it up, but it did not give it the right way. And I said, hey, look, you got to fix this. The modal dialog has got to be a solid white background. So now I'm going to go add a couple of these guys over here for Christmas. In July, it's not even either one of those, and it gives me an order summary, although it did forget to say thank you for your purchase. Oh, confirm order. I confirm order, and it says thank you for your purchase, but I don't like that pop-up over there. I want it to give me a confirm order that is like a dialogue. So I'm going to go add this, and this over here. There's my guy. I'm going to hit the checkout, and if I confirm it, I get thank you. Your magical merchandise will materialize momentarily. You'll notice that these items are kind of funny. I changed them all to be this, to be a wand, a smart aleck hat, a portable cauldron, and there's some other items that are kind of cool. And a logo. I wanted to add a logo. So where's my logo? My logo is up here, Dark Arts Wizardry. Ain't that cool? Ha ha! That's a kind of fun thing to do. So I am going to go, and we are going to go and see if I can copy the link. If I copy the link, it should give me the correct one. It's adding stuff in, checkout, confirm order, and all that appears up there. Should say number 6. I think is it number 8? I think will also get me there. Yes, that's the one I want, number 8. So let's go back over to Test Rigger. We're going to do this one last thing before I get off the live mode, add a test case, and we're going to do some magical wand purchasing. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do that way. I'm going to do it over here. I'm going to go start a recording. All right. I'm not going to start it right yet. I'm going to go be over here at Dark Arts. We're going to do this recording over here and see if we can get a recording. Just do it by hand over here, because I said I'm going to click on add to cart and add to cart. You notice all the buttons say the same thing. The AI, you never know how smart that's going to be. I'm going to click on checkout and confirm order. And I also want to say thank you. This one, oops, hello. And it went away after a few seconds. Cool. Add to cart. Remove. I will add a few more to the cart. I'll hit checkout, confirm order, and then I want to verify that the magical merchandise will appear momentarily. I'm going to hit stop on my recorder over here and see how well it does. So it did say adding the cart, and it said, look at this, above the wireless wand. And then I did another add to cart below and to the left of products. Let's see. Well, it's below and to the left of products. That's the AI. Humans are better at doing this than the AI is, really, seriously. We're going to add the cart roughly below products. We're going to click checkout and confirm order. And then we want to check the page contains your cart is currently empty. And all this values that are under here. And I could always modify that. And then we started all over. We clicked remove. Plain English, click remove. How much easier can you make? And then you go back and do this. And then I would go and add it to my Best Buy suite. And I'm going to call this one the Wizard Hat. Wizard Hats. We'll do that because that seems like a cool thing. Because I only have 45 seconds left in this video. It does. Oh, it's saying that the quotes are wrong. Again, the AI is not the smartest thing in the world out there. So don't blame me on that one. I'm looking to see, I believe it's going to be the checkout. All of this is actually going to be offset. So I'm going to take all of that out of there and check that and had it add and run. New test case is created. If I go back over to my Best Buy, there's my Wizard's hat, and it is now opening up. And you know what we're going to do? Tomorrow, if you join me again, my one eyeball, tell your friends, copy the link, send it over, say all these crazy things that this guy is doing with test automation, and go and show it off. And we are going to pick up our Wizard's Hat demo tomorrow. Thank you, everybody, for watching it. If you watched it live, to my one eyeball, to everyone else who's watching it on the replay, Thursday and Friday, get online with my YouTube channel. I'll do you one more favor over here. YouTube, Paul Grossman, the Dark Arts Wizard. You can see all these things coming up over here. This is day 2. I'll have day 3 up here in just a moment. And it's all being uploaded there. So keep an eyeball here because you should be able to see a live video. Live day 3. When you go there, you but that's me. That's where you can find me. Paul Grossman, the Dark Arts Wizard. And click on the live channel. And we will see you tomorrow, hopefully. And we'll have some other cool stuff that I'm going to go do. Have yourself a great day, good afternoon, and cheers. Oh, like and subscribe like everybody tells you to, okay? All right. Thank you very much. I definitely would like to have more subscribers. Take care and cheers. We are out.